So we're on day 6 of our meditation challenge, and I'm so happy to see that so many of you guys have been so consistent throughout the week, because I really think that that's the most important part of meditation, is just to make it a consistent practice. And again, it doesn't need to be a lot of time. 5-15 minutes a day could be great. You might want to build up as you progress, but really it's just showing up. It's just trying. That's the practice. So yesterday we learned about a mudra. So we added the mudra to our awareness of breath meditation. And a mudra is an energy sail, so it's a hand lock. And we worked with Dhyana Mudra to help focus cultivate a sense of concentration to our meditation. And today we're going to add a mudra to a mantra. And I'll go into that a little bit more in a few minutes. But first, I kind of wanted to tell you guys a story that will help, I think, illustrate today's teaching. And some of you guys may have already heard this story because I've actually shared it in yoga practices, but it's a quick story, and I think it's worth hearing again. So it's the story of the two wolves. So again, some of you guys may have heard it, but one evening, an elderly Cherokee brave was telling his grandson a battle that goes on in everybody's head. He said, "My son, the battle is between two wolves inside us all." He said, "One is evil. It's anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed. It's the ego." And he said, "The other is good. It's joy, peace, love, benevolence, hope, faith." So the grandson thought about it for a minute, and then he asked his grandfather, he said, "Well, which wolf wins?" And the grandfather simply replied, "The one that you feed." So we have these two competing wolves inside our mind. One is the one that's giving us the fear-based thoughts, and that's our ego. So generally when we hear thoughts like telling us that we're not good enough, or what other people are doing wrong, or things that they don't want us to do, that's generally our ego talking. In contrast, the other wolf, that wolf is encouraging. So that sees the good in both us and others. It assumes goodwill. That wolf really wants to see us thrive. So whatever one we feed, so whatever one we engage with, that's really going to be the one that wins. So then you might ask, you're like, well, we'll just not listen to the bad wolf, the evil wolf. But it's not always that simple. So sometimes it's hard for us to differentiate who's actually talking to us. And the other problem is that the ego, the evil wolf, that speaks really loudly. So that's the voice we hear when it's like, oh, that person did this and this, or you should have done this. The person that's really annoyed at both yourself and everyone else. It's also the voice that wants you to do something quickly. So if you ever noticed when you're triggered, you feel like you have to call somebody up or you have to say something, that's really the evil wolf, but they speak really loudly. In contrast, the higher self wolf, that's the one that needs a little more quiet and silence. It always has wisdom to share for us, but we need to make the time to be able to actually listen to it. So we need to quiet the ego so we can actually hear what the good wolf, the higher self, is telling us, the wisdom that it's telling us, the encouragement, the love, how it's telling us to proceed. And we don't always take the time to do that. And that's really where meditation comes in. It's so we can quiet the bad wolf, so we can hear the good wolf. So that goes into the next part where meditation just helps us connect to our higher self so we can hear the good wolf. Now, I don't want to kind of go into this whole conversation about how it connects to the higher self because it still has all of the same benefits as other meditation. So meditation in general, it decreases stress, blood pressure, our chance for heart attacks, but it also improves our sleep and our interaction with others. But it is good. It gives us that space, that distance, so we can take a step back and we can kind of understand which wolf is talking to us, the good one or the bad one. It helps us differentiate them. So as we talked about, when we can create that space between triggers and reactions, it gives us freedoms. It gives us the ability to thoughtfully respond. Now, meditation won't ever silence the evil wolf. That will probably always be there, always kind of telling us these things that aren't right with us or others. But with a consistent practice, we stop believing it. So we start to acknowledge when we hear it, and we can kind of choose not to engage with it. So we feed the white wolf. So just as the grandfather suggests to his grandson, the one that wins is the one that we're going to feed. So today we're going to do a mudra. So as I mentioned, we're going to connect mudra and mantra. And this is to help us connect to our inner wisdom or our higher self. So the mudra that we're going to take is chin mudra. And that's the thumb and the index finger can come together. The other 3 fingers come straight out. And then you can rest them in your lap. And the mantra that we're going to take is hum on the inhale and then sa on the exhale. So basically as you're breathing, just like we were talking about before, labeling the inhale and the exhale, inhale and exhale. When you're inhaling, you can silently think the words hum, and then when you exhale, sa. And what that means, what that mantra means is I am that, or I and the divine are connected. So that's that mantra. Now, even if the mudra and the mantra, you might be thinking, this might not be resonating with you at first. So don't worry if it feels awkward. A lot of it is just the terminology that we're using. I would just encourage you to remember that it has the same benefits as all of the other meditations, and in particular, the benefit of helping us make thoughtful decisions, so helping us connect to that inner wisdom. So I know that some of this terminology as far as being connected to the divine or getting to the inner wisdom or higher self, if it might be new to you, that's okay. Still think of it as this is going to be a practice that's going to bring more ease, more peace into my life. So without talking much more, let's just get started. So you can get in your meditation posture with the shoulders stacked over hips, holding the mudra, so the thumb and the index finger resting in your lap. And you can start to close your eyes. So I'm going to say the mantra with you for a little bit, but then I'll fade out and you continue with it. And again, as you just notice that you're wrapped up in thoughts or you've lost track of the mantra, just bring the focus back to the mantra. So we'll get started. So you can just gently close your eyes. Hum, sa. Hum, sa. Hum, sa. Hum, sa. Hum, sa. So again, hum on the inhale, sa on the exhale. You can continue on now on your own. If you find you've lost track of the mantra, just gently bring the focus back. Hum, sa. And just breathing steadily and connecting hum on the inhale, sa on the exhale. If you notice you started to engage with thoughts, just gently bring the focus back to the mantra. Inhale, hum, exhale, sa. For the last minute or two, you just start all over, no matter where you were with the meditation. Just start right at the beginning. Inhale, hum, exhale, sa. And keeping your eyes closed, you can release your mudra and just rest your hands comfortably in your lap. And just take a moment here just to start to come back. When you're ready, you can start to open your eyes. So that was a meditation. So we used the chin mudra, and the energy that that tries to cultivate is inner knowledge with our mantra, hum sa, which is I am that, or I am connected with the divine. So that mantra in mudra helps us to turn inward, connect with our inner wisdom, and it also just helps us to stop those incessant stream of thoughts that generally we have throughout the day. And then we can take a step back. We can start to identify what thoughts are coming from the good wolf, what thoughts are coming from the evil wolf, and we can choose which wolf that we want to feed. So that was today's practice. And then tomorrow we have one more practice where I will introduce you to a new meditation, and also we'll talk a little bit more about why yogis have practiced meditation for thousands of years and why it behooves us to do that as well. But I will unmute you guys now, so if you have any questions about that meditation, happy to answer them.
Hey, Lisa, a question.
Sure.
So when you're doing a mantra, are you saying it out loud or are you saying in your inner voice?
You can do either. The hum sa, I think, is easier to say it with your inner voice because you're kind of focused on the inhale and the exhale. But when we did the mantra the other day, Sat Chit Ananda, I think that that's almost easier to say out loud because it's not necessarily integrated with the inhale and exhale. So I think it just depends. Like the hum sa and so hum is another one as well too. I think those are better. At least, I mean, you can try it both ways, but I find it like when it's linked to the breath like that, it's easier to do it internally. So you're not like talking, focused on your breath. But when it's more of a mantra, like if it was Sat Chit Ananda or like Ang Namo Gurudev Namo is another one, I would say it out loud.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
I had the same question. I found it hard to inhale and say the at the same time.
Yeah, that's why I think, and I should have mentioned that earlier, like that on this one, I feel like internally it's kind of just thinking to yourself, hum, sa.
Just to visualize it, I guess.
Yeah. And that is kind of the sounds that our breath makes anyways, almost if you kind of think about it, you know, it's like the hum on the inhale, sa on the exhale. So it's more of the visualization of the breath and kind of thinking of the words internally.
I get the sa out and the rest, but the is hard.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I should have mentioned that's one where probably it's better not to say out loud. But there's plenty of mantras where I think are better to say out loud because it helps to give you more focus when it's not necessarily connected to the breath, but it's more just a string of words or phrases to help you cultivate a particular consciousness.
Well, thank you, Lisa.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nice seeing everyone this morning. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye, Brenda.
Yeah.